Welcome, family, to this service code. On this service code, we want to take a look at Pastor Chris, who come out to teach people about the intake of salt. He said, take salt is good for your body, and he decided to prove it in the Bible, where Jesus said, take salt and all that. But health practitioners, how do I put it? Federal government issued warning against his teachings. So I want you to take your time, watch this video. I'll be right back.
I already said so before knowing that anybody else said anything about it. I would have still told you, because the wisdom of God is given to us to lead us, to guide us. We listen to the so-called professionals, and many have died listening to them. Think how many people have suffered strokes and all kinds of ailments because they listen to their doctor. Think how many people have been afraid of salt. They say, oh, in fact, they've eliminated salt from their food. They don't want this because so much salt. Well, I thought so myself. I thought so too. I thought so. But this is why I talk to you about praying in tongues. Because from praying in tongues, the Spirit of God talks to me, He guides me. I speak in tongues and solutions come. So if you will pray in tongues, you'll be amazed what knowledge will be brought to you. The Bible tells us when we speak in tongues, we're speaking mysteries. Mysteries. And so when I speak in tongues, and then I interpret the mysteries to my understanding. Because in tongues, you don't know what you said. But with the gift of interpretation of tongues, you bring whatever information is given to you in the spirit into the natural realm so you can understand it. All right. So this is really remarkable. Really remarkable. And you have to let others know. You have to let others know. You need salt. More salt than less salt. And you just heard, they've actually been giving all the sick people that they're treating in the hospitals, they're giving them salt. But they don't know. They repackage it and sell it to you in different forms. But you had it at home all the while. Let me read 2 Kings chapter 2 from verse 19. When Elisha was in Jericho, and the men of the city came to him. Look what the Bible says. And the men of the city said unto Elisha, behold, I pray thee, the situation of this city is pleasant, as my Lord seeth. But the water is not. In other words, the water is bad, and the ground barren. So the water is bad. And he said, Elisha said, bring me a new cruse and put salt therein. And they brought it to him. And he went forth unto the spring of the waters and cast the salt in there and said, thus saith the Lord, I have healed these waters, and there shall not be from thence any more death or barren land. He used salt to heal the water. That's what God told him. He says, it's salt they need. Go put salt in the water. And he went and put salt and prophesied no more deaths. And they were free. Let me show you an even more important one. You'll be surprised. How many know Jesus never lied to anybody? Jesus never lied. Jesus never exaggerated. Jesus spoke absolute truth. Watch. St. Mark's Gospel, chapter 9 and verse number 50. The words of Jesus, salt is good. Look at it. That's Jesus. You can't beat that. You can't beat that. They told you salt is bad, but Jesus says salt is good. All right, let's read the rest of it. But if the salt have lost its saltness, wherewith will ye season it? Read the next part. Have salt in yourselves, and have peace one with another. Tell me. If Jesus didn't mean this, what else did he mean? You tell me. If this wasn't what he meant, what did he mean? He just told you, salt is good. And then he says, have salt in yourselves. What other interpretation do you want to give it? We just learned from the medical personnel that we listened to, they said a lot of people are sick because they don't have sufficient salt in themselves. That's why they're sick. And then the other guy said, for all the sick people in the hospitals all over the world, there's one thing that is common with all of them when they are admitted. There's one thing that's common with all of them. Intravenous salt. Salt is what they put into their bodies. Why did they do this? I told you, if you're well, the medical doctors will be broke. The pharmaceutical industry will be broke. So they can't afford for you to be very well. They need you to be sick. So they can't always tell you the truth. And many medical doctors find out about this late, some never discover. They think they're in a profession to help people get cured. After all, that's why they went to medical school. Until they meet the regulators. And those who are from the Ministry of Health.
Yeah, welcome back. That's the video. But federal government has issued an warning over this video. So let me read it for you. It said the federal government has issued a strong warning against excessive salt consumption, following a controversial sermon by Pastor Chris Oyakilome, in which he claimed that Africans are being discouraged from using salt to increase the salt of sodium-based medications. In a viral video, the founder of Love World Incorporated, Christ Embassy, alleged that public health recommendations limiting salt intake were driven by commercial interest. Reacting to the claims, the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare described the assertions as misleading and potentially harmful. Alaba Balogun, Deputy Director of Information and Public Relations at the ministry, noted that while sodium, a component of salt, is vital for essential bodily functions such as nerve activity, muscle movement, and fluid regulation, it must be consumed in moderation to avoid serious health conditions. The Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare has observed the widely circulated video in which a respected religious leader discourages Nigerians from heeding medication advice on salt consumption. The ministry stated, while we deeply respect the important role of faith and religious leaders in our society, it is crucial to correct misinformation that poses a risk to public health. The ministry clarified that salt itself is not harmful, yes, but excessive consumption poses serious health risk. According to the ministry clarified that salt itself is not harmful, but excessive consumption poses serious health risk. According to the World Health Organization (WHO) and Nigerian health guidelines, daily salt intake should not exceed 5 grams roughly 1 teaspoon. How- However, research shows that many Nigerians consume more than twice this amount, significantly increasing their risk of hypertension, stroke, heart failure, and kidney disease. Wow. Doctors do not lie. The statement continues. Nigerians professionals are trained to provide evidence-based advice rooted in scientific research and years of potential care. The sodium compounds found in some medications are not the same as dietary salt and are safe when administered and prescribed. The ministry emphasized the need of synergy between faith and science, urging Nigerians to rely on qualified medication professionals for accurate health information and to work in addressing the growing burden of preventable non-communicable diseases. That is a response from the um, Nigeria Health Organization. And I saw that a lot of people have been criticizing these these teachings. A lot of people, a lot of doctors, a lot of health practitioners have been saying this teachings is wrong. I don't know me. I don't know anything about it. So, but the part where he brought up that Jesus said salt is good for the body, when salt is this, I think that's a literally saying. Jesus always used parables to teach. So I think that was just a parable, not literally talking about. So that's what I believe. I just believe. I'm not sure. So I'm starting to be corrected. So that's just it. Intake of salt. I don't know. Federal government has warned. Don't listen to him. That's what the federal government says. You can take salt, it's not bad. But it should not be too much. The intake should never be too much. So be careful. Be careful. Don't overtake salt though. Because stroke and all that. Take it. 1 teaspoon a day, not 2. So that because of heart failure, stroke, and all that. That's just it. I said let me bring it to you. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, and share. God bless.